All right, so we're live. Welcome to our
Okay.
members only live stream, which this is our second in the month of October because I missed the first one and then I put it up late. I know it's one of them things. But with us tonight, so far we have Snapshot FPV and our good friend Peter Reynolds, along with my co-host and partner in crime, Mr. Brian Baker, who is
Mr.
having
Muffley, apparently. I'll
yeah
fix this.
he's having muffle problems. Snapshot stepped out to grab a drink, a cool drink, but here he comes. But we are talking tonight about 3D printing, and we're going to be talking with our members. This is something that we do to connect with our members a little bit more one on one. It allows them to be a part of the show as opposed to just being in the chat, and they get to impart their wisdom upon us. And we can have a collective brain and solve any problems that people might have.
I have no wisdom, only life issues.
I see we got Randy and Dominic are both in the chat tonight, so I'm just going to let them know to go to the community tab on our YouTube page. Get that out of my way.
Okay, hopefully this is a little better now.
Yeah, that's much better. Right?
Yeah, I don't know what microphone it was using. I still have no clue. It wasn't this one. It was something.
Yeah, it definitely sounds better.
Perfect. Yeah, this is it's actually the $700 mic now, not the. I don't even know where there's another mic. Maybe on this camera I just got. Beats me. So let's see. We've got just so you guys know that are in StreamYard. I think we get I at least get the YouTube chat. I don't know if you guys get the chat. There's Tim. Thank you, Tim, for reminding me that you're there. Let's drop in Tim. There we go.
There we go.
It's not my fault, I swear. I'm just getting used to this thing, okay?
He's got to get used to it because when I'm out in BC on Sunday, he's got to run everything.
Oh, I'm going to run it through StreamYard. I'm not using vMix.
That's going to be interesting.
It works perfect. Look at this. All you got to do is pay someone else money.
Well, I thought you were doing the live. I thought you were doing the chat live, Richard, on Sunday.
We are.
Oh, you are.
I'm going to be out in Victoria. Brian's going to be here.
Yeah, right. Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm only going to be mildly hungover from the Halloween stuff, but I'll be here.
So if he falls asleep during Sunday's live stream, you'll know why.
Yeah. Or we'll go into spooky vision.
I think we've got the baseball stadium echo going on now.
Yeah, I heard I've got speakers on.
Who are we coming through? Is that you, Tim?
No.
What are?
What are you?
It is what it is.
I'm muted in YouTube.
Well,
I
gentlemen,
can just turn on echo cancellation on people. I have some pretty awesome powers here.
about 3 weeks ago, I came across the perfect application of 3D printing.
Oh.
Perfect in my life, anyway. I was up early, getting ready for work, jumped in the shower, and I went to turn on the shower faucet, and I heard a big crack, and the knob came right off in my hands. So I quick ran and grabbed a pair of vice grips and was able to close the shower valve after taking the shower. However, I didn't care to leave my good vice grips rusting in the shower. So I took a hard look at the valve shaft. It's just a single valve, hot or cold, I took a hard look at the valve shaft and decided I could print up something. And it was going to be about 2 weeks before the plumbers came. And this is what I came up with.
Hey, cool.
Very cool.
And this is just the handle. What I made was an ABS insert that literally went over the shaft, and I had to match the shaft's features internally to another piece here, because I was thinking to myself, if the handle breaks again, I don't want to have to build a whole new handle.
Right.
So I made it a 2-piece.
Well, there you go.
And the other piece is actually upstairs. But it's pretty simple.
Wow. I'll say that's really cool.
All right, which
And-
build plate are you using there, by the way? Because that's clean.
Yeah.
That was glass on the under. Yeah.
Boy.
And a pretty good first layer. Overhangs weren't so great, but I didn't really care.
I mean,
No.
that's a pretty aggressive incline, though. I mean, you're
Yeah.
gonna have a hard time with FDM overcoming that, to be honest.
But I even used my head a little bit and put some labeling on there for hot and cold direction.
That's what that was. I was thinking to myself, you did a basic design, and then you probably spent more time on the text than the rest of it. But
no, but like I said, it was going to be about 2 weeks before the plumbers could come and swap out the handle. So I didn't want to leave my good vice grips rusting in the shower.
Rusting in the rain, as they say.
yeah, and
Not
that's.
good.
I was just gonna say that's one of the items that, although we don't advise to use 3D printing in areas of water usually because of bacteria buildup, here's something you made disposable for like 20 cents and it saves your butt. So
Yep.
why not? That's the
Oh,
basis
and
of 3D printing. So
The
why
very
not?
reason that the knob broke is because, according to the plumber, I'm not a plumber. I can do a lot of stuff, mechanical, electrical, whatnot. I'm not a plumber. But there's an insert in the valve that apparently they swell as they age, and it becomes very hard to turn it. Which is why when I asked the plumber when he came if I could get something with leverage,
Yeah.
hands, age. And he said no, you'll be able to turn it with your finger now because he replaced the insert part of the valve.
Gotcha. That's cool.
And you can flip the thing around with a finger there.
Oh, that's
One
brilliant.
of the things I wanted to show off, which I haven't shown off in a while, I'm just going to roll this way.
Yeah, here, let me flip over to you. And Tim, sorry, I did mute your mic. You're Mr. Echo. I figured it out. So, yeah. Hang on, let me unmute you. There you go. Yeah, you had the echo cancellation on, but I guess it just reverbed in the special way. All right,
That's
Richard,
weird.
let's full screen you here.
Okay, so you guys know I've been working on a video that is supposed to have been out on Friday for you members about resin 3D printing. One of the things I did to my resin 3D printers is they don't have handles to take the lid off. So I found this knob on Thingiverse and just screwed it in, drilled a hole, screwed it in, and now
Cool.
all of my plastic lids have an easy knob to lift up.
That's great. I'll have to make that.
It was a lot of fun doing that.
So
Although
that's, what did
Go ahead.
what did you look for, Richard? On Thingiverse, just handles or?
yeah, I just looked for knob. KNOB knob.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
dangerous search.
Did you
Looking for
have
knobs online.
Well,
Did
it
you
depends
have
on
to
what
screw it
site
in?
you're on. What's that?
Did you have to screw it in, or do you think glue just wasn't?
I
gonna do
could
it?
have glued it on or used a double-sided tape, but I like the screw idea because it really holds it secure.
Yeah.
So, and I only printed those out of PLA. I mean, they took maybe 3 hours to print each knob,
Yeah.
but they work. And when we talk about useful tools that we can use for 3D printing, that's a prime example. I've got to do a bunch more prints that are useful for the resin printers, including this guy. How can you tell I was recording over here again today?
Yeah, how can you tell we're even set up for this tonight? Obviously, for those of you watching, yeah, this is just kind of a casual thing, but we are just getting all the gear right back up there. Richard, I'll solo you again here.
Okay, so this is my electric ice cream bucket. No, I'm kidding.
Looks like an ice bucket.
Have you noticed that's got
Yeah.
shiny material?
Oh,
I've had
Oh,
this
this
now.
is your
Go ahead.
this is your resin dryer or
This is my
UV
resin
dryer?
purification. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we have the next part, which has the plug on it, and inside there are LEDs.
Oh yeah, cool.
And then the bottom, which has a hole in the center, also comes with feet so you can set it up. And it looks like an ice bucket. If you don't look at the back, you never know. You'd think it was an ice bucket.
Okay, and what's the black thing sticking out the side?
That's the plug.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then you just put that into the center of the unit. You plug it in and it cures your stuff. So this probably cost me all in with the LEDs $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Are
not
you
too
going to put a
bad.
rotating platform or rotating base in it?
I do have one. Yes.
Okay, that's what the
And-
hole's for.
Well, actually, I don't use the hole for that. I actually stick the base inside because it's just a little tiny thing. But that base is UV powered. So it's got little solar panels all the way around. I can use it with batteries if I so choose, but it powers itself. So what's the point?
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Now, I mean, admittedly, I got a little hackier than yours. My one, whenever I disassembled it finally, but it was a Home Depot paint bin. Just take the bucket and wrap the LEDs around it.
Is that what yours looks like?
Yeah, very much actually.
You got
Yeah.
the same thing I've got, Snapchat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these, for those of
This
you who
was a
don't know,
cheap Amazon thing. It works great.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're actually meant for jewelry, actually, like little standees for shops, so you can order them en masse pretty cheap, usually.
Yeah, there's mine.
Yeah,
Um,
the toys.
Jeez, everyone's going to grab theirs. I think I've even got mine right here. Actually, you know what? Mine is not going to come
I
out
don't have
because
one.
mine is built into a Musso black box I built for photography, and I just haven't had a chance much to play around with it.
Richard, do you think it's an advantage being the LED strips versus a bulb?
Yes. And I'll tell you why, because you can now get 360 degrees around the model without having to have those types of, the little lamp ones on either side, or having it just truly reflecting off of, a shiny surface, right? So
I put a bulb up top and a bulb on the side in a box,
Okay.
and then have the turntable going around.
Gotcha. As Peter's got one of the lamps that I was thinking about getting originally. He was just showing it off there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was about $25 on Amazon, I think.
And I've seen a lot of guys use those inside of a small box
Yeah.
that they've just covered the inside with Mylar or, foil tape or
Right.
aluminum foil. Hey, Tim, what's
Yes.
that thing beside you?
This?
Bring it on
It's a
up.
little printer.
Just a little one.
Just a little one.
Holy
It's
cow,
a
you got
rat
out a
rig.
Lazy Susan and everything.
That's not a
Well,
rat
that-
rig,
that-
that's a rat king.
That was for the build, the Lazy Susan, so that it was much easier to work with. And it actually prints. This is the first real print. This is the print I did for a customer. I designed this in Fusion 360. It's a prototype for a 25% scale prototype for a vent HVAC system.
Oh, nice.
So once I got a nice successful print off of this, of course, what I decided to do was upgrade it, replace the board with an SKR, and I'm actually in the middle of configuring Clipper. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Hey there, Scarecrow. Welcome to the show tonight, bud.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man.
I've been pretty busy. Today I just got the purple PLA from Matter 3D.
Oh, you're the
Oh,
one that
nice.
bought it all. I didn't get mine. I got gypped.
Yeah, I live in the U.S., so shipping's like $15, but it's kind of worth it because I really like their PLA.
But did you get more than one roll at a time?
No.
See, you got to get more than one roll because if I understood it correctly, it's just $15 no matter how many rolls you want.
Yeah,
Actually,
but,
right now,
yeah, go ahead.
it's free shipping to the U.S. for orders over $35.
So if you
Yeah.
order that second roll, it's basically free after that. So
Yeah, I got the Halloween special discount.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So, what are you printing these days, Mr. Scarecrow?
Oh, let's see. Last thing I did. Let me see here. Yeah, I printed a couple. I printed a couple of these. Let's see where I get my camera here. A couple of these stormtroopers.
Having stormtroopers.
Yeah. I got a white one too, but that's one of the last things we recently did. But,
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last thing I did was for the episode that still isn't out yet.
We're getting there. It'll happen.
It just takes, sometimes it just takes a little bit longer. Admittedly, I was down for Friday and Saturday last week. I developed a migraine really early in the day on Friday, and then it carried through the night and in all into Saturday. So 2 days behind when you're down.
yeah, here's my last misprint. It came off the plate and warped on me, so I had to throw it out.
What is it?
It's a C-130.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you tried doing any of those parts for the RC planes?
No, I sure haven't.
That's something I wanted to try this past summer, but of course, the way the year went, it wasn't conducive anyway. So I may start working on that after Christmas, so that we have a little bit of a new set of episodes for the summer, this coming summer in 2022.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Richard, if you've ever heard of a YouTube channel called Flight Test,
Yes.
you can get some information from them anyways as far as
I watch their stuff quite often, actually.
Cool.
I really like the fact that they're doing a lot of what they're doing is made out of foam core.
Yeah.
And back in the day when I was flying planes, that stuff didn't really exist. I mean, everything was made out of balsa wood, plywood, and
Yep.
a plastic sheeting, a thermal plastic that you literally ironed onto the wings and onto the fuselage. And I had my first plane was actually a Piper Cub,
Nice.
and I got it up, and it came down, and I put the engine straight into the tail section.
Yep.
So you could fly backwards then.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I don't think it was flying too far after that. It probably took me about 4 months to build and about 30 seconds to ruin it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've all been there.
Yeah.
But that you can still do that today and have it not cost you, hundreds of dollars because it's just foam board.
Yeah, and you can make them out of PLA for Pete's sake now. Like there's a couple of companies out there that are producing 3D printable RC planes.
Yep.
I think I have a couple. I have their Corsair, I'm pretty sure, because that's probably one of my favorite planes is the Corsair.
Well, now we're talking about planes. I'm going to have to get something.
Uh-oh.
You guys remember those? They're not RCA planes, but they were like a little like they were quite like it, but you controlled them by a string, and they went in circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first and last time I messed with a RC type plane. I dove it into the ground.
I always looked at those things like kite flying with a motor.
Yeah.
And if your friends were too close, it was kind of like throwing lawn darts in the air just to see where it would land.
Yep.
If anybody remembers lawn darts, well, most
Yes.
of us do.
Oh, they sissified them now. I like the old metal ones. Ones that will hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, there's Richard Taylor's in the chat tonight. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, sorry, I am trying to get out the bugs here with this, and it should allow multiple people to join here, but we have to kind of play it by ear, unfortunately, and just see how far we can get with it and see if I need to upgrade the license, but I bought it for the last live stream, and then my email got hacked, so I lost access to the darn thing, but...
This is one of my foam core planes.
Oh, nice.
That almost looks 3D printed from here.
Well,
Oh, now I can see it.
I don't know.
You could 3D print that easily.
Yeah, these are.
Right.
And the base. Yeah.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about 3D printing something like that is that if you break something, you just print another one.
Yeah, this is, yeah, that too. This is all foam core, just
Right.
the stuffed dollar store foam, really. And maybe about $30 of electronics. That's all.
Nice.
And I had to make up the base and the wheels, and this is just an old hanger. And I designed the wheels with actual TPU tires.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You know, that's one material you don't see enough people talking about is TPU. It's a pretty darn good material to work with. It's just, you know, now that everyone's having direct drive hot ends there, basically it makes it a lot easier. I actually haven't set it up yet, but I have here, buried amongst everything, one of the Matrix, the Triangle Lab clones of the Chimera. So, let me just bring that up there. Looks like a pretty neat little hot end. I mean, it seems to be well built, but not cheap either. So we'll see if it actually works.
Is it direct drive?
It is, yeah. It's all built in. It's and I'm gonna get some flack in the chat for it, but basically it is a clone of the Chimera. So, you know, all the politics and stuff aside, yeah, it's probably a direct copy of E3's Chimera, but whether or not that means it works in this case, because the Chimera has that weird curved fan or curved grill, versus this one has, it's hidden under here, but it's just basically a bunch of posts. It's going to be an experiment, to be honest with you. I just don't know yet, and until I can get this printer going to print the mount for it, it's kind of on standby for a bit.
What machine were you going to put it on?
I'll probably put it on the CR10 for now there, Peter, just because, I mean, the big machine's still in working updates and all that, and when you have something sideways like this, it needs a big movement area, so. Richard, there's a Resin entity saying, between the pages, Richard and his friends.
Yes, between the pages. Wow, that seems almost like a lifetime ago. For anybody here in the chat and that are watching, if you don't know, I used to be the host, along with a very good friend of mine, Jason Bishop. We hosted a show called Between the Pages, which was a geek culture, comic book review, movie review, sometimes toy review show that we did. I think we put out about 60 episodes. And it was at a time when I don't think anybody wanted to see an old guy talk about comic books. And now, of course, I've been doing this show, and we're 300, almost 350 episodes in.
Yeah, something like that. It's been long.
I'm not doing 100 episodes a year.
No, that's for sure. We had some busy years. This year was kind of a write-off, but we're trying to get back on track. I mean, I think we have a valid excuse.
This year, I don't know. COVID in 2019, I thought was going to sink a lot of what we did.
Yeah.
And fortunately enough, it didn't. The only thing that kept us from doing live streams and things were timing, things going on, and of course, me and my migraines. You know, the wind shifts here. It's like, you know, if you were at a flatulence party, I would get a headache.
Yeah, it's the weather here is terrible. I think that's the best way you can put it.
Resin saying the Naked Ape Productions on this business card feels like a piece of ancient technology. Yeah, Naked Ape Productions. I got a funny. Somebody pointed out to me that the Naked Ape logo, which is just the head of a monkey, actually looked like Obama.
Okay.
Somebody said it looked like Obama, and once I saw that, I couldn't stop seeing it. So, yeah, and you know, Naked Ape Productions would still be around, but I was not getting work because of that name. People thought that I was in the adult business, even though I'd point them to the stuff we'd done on YouTube and stuff we'd done for other companies. And yeah, they weren't interested. They didn't like the word naked ape. So then it became Cleveland Media Group, and Brian joined in, and we haven't looked back since.
And now you're doing the porn on the side.
And now I'm doing the what on the side? Doing the pot on the side, did you
The
say?
porn on the side.
Oh, the porn on the side. No, God. Nobody wants to see me in porn, believe me.
I mean, we do first layer porn once in a while. I mean, that's why we have all these fancy cameras. I mean, I kind of did it on the beginning of the show here, but I got zoom now on the 4K. So, skin texture. So beautiful.
My eyes.
Yeah, I know. That's what the first layer is going to become. There is up close and personal.
Yeah. No, Naked Ape. I love doing stuff under that banner, and maybe one day I'll revive it when the Puritans have all gone back across the water, and all the heathens are here. I may go back and do something with that company name. I still own it, so.
Yeah, we still do media stuff. We haven't really spoken a lot about it, but when we work with Matter 3D, like when we help out with videos and stuff like that, we don't do it under the first layer because we don't want it to be a conflict of interest or an unintentional bias or anything like that. So Richard and I kind of have a small alternative company name that we have parked just in case we need to separate it. But Naked Ape just has something to it. It's something that you'd see at the end of like an FX network show or something now, eh?
Slice TV.
Well, it's gonna be TLC.
Now that we're in October, and we're almost at the end of October, Halloween's right around the corner. Has anybody printed anything for Halloween this year?
No, heck, the month flew by for me. I've been so busy. It's like I didn't even know it was late October. I've been so busy.
Yeah,
what about you, Snapshot?
No, I have not. Nope. All my kids are grown, and the wife didn't even want to decorate.
What?
See, that's the same in my house. My wife's not big on Halloween. I love Halloween. My wife is big on Christmas. I have no use for Christmas whatsoever.
Well, I do know a real bearded Santa Claus. He was part of a car club I belonged to. So.
Oh, nice. I've played Santa Claus.
Yeah.
That's so uncomfortable. The one time I played Santa Claus was for a party, and there was a bunch of little kids, and it was 40 below in Brandon, Manitoba, and I came walking up the front steps, which hadn't been shoveled, almost wiped out, got into the house, freezing frickin' cold because I had to change in their unheated garage.
It's 9:30.
Well, one of the last times I saw my friend who's a real bearded Santa Claus, I was up in Canada around Niagara Falls. We hit Niagara Falls, and first time I've ever been up to Canada, and I think Canada's a beautiful place.
I love Canada.
Oh, yeah.
I love a lot of places in the States as well. I've been to a lot of places. I love Arizona. Absolutely love it. I love that dry heat. I don't like the nights in Arizona because they get much chillier than they do here. They feel very damp at night in Arizona. Maybe that's just me. But California I really liked. Hated LA. Absolutely hated LA. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
The story
I
with
lived
me,
in LA for a couple of years. I love LA.
So does Randy.
But that was back in the 60s, though, before it got crazy.
Oh, so you were one of the hippies in the 60s in LA.
Well, I wasn't a hippie, but I enjoyed LA.
He was the one carrying the pitchforks.
Yeah, right.
No, knowing Peter as well as I do now, I think Peter was a bit of a rebel rouser.
Yeah, maybe just a bit.
Yeah, there you go.
All of us guys that have worked in the entertainment business at one point in time, we're all a bit of rebel rousers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For any of you guys that don't know, Peter worked for CBC as an editor for many, many years. And that's a Canadian broadcast company for our U.S. friends.
And for you American friends, he is not Peter Mansbridge, our
Yeah.
one
No, I'm
famous
not.
CBC
No.
person.
Isn't Mansbridge dead now?
No. He's younger than I am.
Oh,
He
yeah,
just
he's-
retired. He just retired about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. So,
I
see how
found
often I
out
watch
the-
CBC?
I found out the other day that he actually went to my high school.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
That was really. I was looking up something about my brother, one of my older brothers, and I saw Peter Mansbridge name in there, and I thought, wow, I didn't realize he'd gone there. But anyway,
Small world, eh?
yeah.
So speaking of television, I'm assuming most people here have Netflix.
Yes.
Have any of you guys watched the Squid Games?
Yes.
No.
I saw
I have-
the first episode, and
I haven't watched it. My wife has watched a couple of the episodes, but what I'm noticing is that seems to be the big Halloween costume this year.
It is.
And a lot of people are making these masks, including our good friend Guseng Kwan from Fab 365.
You know, I looked at it, and you know, even in the show, that mask looks a bit 3D printed if you really look up close at it. But you know, the thing is, I've seen a couple
Tim, on
episodes
that
here
one
and
there?
there, but my understanding
There we
is
go.
it's kind of like a battle royale thing. It's you know, just one of those kind of murder style shows or whatever. But I mean, it's a good show. But yeah, the mask, I think that's going to be the character of choice this year.
Yeah, it seems to be. I've seen it. Oh, that's cool.
There's Tim's. He's been showing it off down in the
Hang
bottom
on, Tim.
corner.
Let's bring you up here.
That's cool, Tim.
You know what, Tim? That's pretty dead on. You know, which material is that one? Oh wait, hang on. I got you muted again. Hang on. You can't unmute the guest. Oh,
There we go.
well then, there
That's
you go.
black. That's Banner 3D Black PLA.
Oh, is it really? Oh, that is amazing.
That looks great.
And that's the folding version that Richard was just talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Goose?
Yeah.
Nice.
Want to play a game?
I saw somebody print that in a silver PLA, and it reminded me of the robot from Logan's Run because of all the
Okay.
angular facets that are on that mask.
Yeah.
Now, now there's going back a ways.
Hey, Tim.
How long did that? How long did that take to print, Tim?
About 7 hours.
Oh, not bad.
No.
Hey, Tim. Richard put our attention on your machine there, but no mention was made of what it is.
This
Yeah.
this is a Rat Rig V Core 3, and it's a 500 by 500 by 500. So this is it's a kit that I bought right off of Rat Rig. So the kit came with everything I needed. I bought the kit because I don't know much about. This is the first time I've ever built my own printer. So the kit came with basically everything. I had to print a few things. I had to source a few of the electronics parts. And I did the build on my live stream. I streamed over 9 or 10 weeks doing the build, and then once I got it up and printing, I decided to try Clipper. So I had to replace the main board. So I bought a main board, and I'm just about finished configuring Clipper, and I'm about probably this Sunday I'll be running a test print.
Now, does that have 3 Z rods?
Yeah, it's a Z on corners here and then a Z in the back middle. So it's basically a 3-point leveling system, and then a BL touch for mesh leveling.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
I am so looking forward to building something that big. I so want to because my Voron is only 300 by 300 by 300.
Yeah, it was a big undertaking.
But yeah, I do want to build something that big for my next big project. All right, so snapshot. Now that everybody's here, let's show off the model that you were showing us earlier.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
No one, just you and Brian got to see it. We were talking about what we've been printing, what we've been up to, and this is the last sort of big print that I'd made recently.
Oh, cool.
I want to show you the better side without the big gap in it. Well, you can still see the gap, but this was basically top. There's a number of parts. It was top and bottom of the saucer section.
Oh, they were separate?
Yeah, they were. And the engine end, or the end, and sort of like the main hole down here. So I had to print it in several sections, only because I can't babysit the machine. I don't have, as of yet, I don't have a way to monitor it. And this would have been a several day long print. So yeah, several pieces. I think it came out okay, but I'm still going to make it again because I'm going to make it again.
Now, in the background there, I see that you also have a shuttle on the shelf.
Yes, you've seen that before.
I'm pretty sure I have.
Yeah, it had a little creature in it
Ah.
on one of our last live
Right,
shows.
right. I do remember that.
Yeah, no, that's an actual store-bought toy. I did not make that. But that's it. It's got some pretty good detail on the top and then the bottom.
That is nice.
It does look really nice.
Yeah, there's just this bit right here where they just didn't come together perfectly for me. That's why I'm going to make it again.
Now, have you ever seen the original model kit?
I have not. I've seen documentaries on the studio models that were used for the show.
The original model kit's not much bigger than the one that you were just showing. And
Yeah.
the neck itself, it actually, or I guess the neck going up to the saucer section,
This part.
that's actually in 3 parts on the kit.
Mhm.
So they sort of come together in that little triangle pattern. And it's I wondered if maybe somebody could print that or design that so that it would print in one piece, and then you would also have that little section that could connect into the saucer section, and then be
Yeah.
able to remove it if you wanted to.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I found this model on Thingiverse, and they had an option for the full print, or they had already broken it up into smaller pieces.
Gotcha.
I chose the smaller pieces option, and only after I started printing it did it, dawn on me that at least some of the smaller pieces I could have reconstructed,
Gotcha.
put together, and printed whole. So it would have been at most 1, 2, and then 3
Gotcha.
pieces, And that's why I'm going to do it again, because I think it looks cool, but as we know, when we create and we look at our creation and we go, you idiot, why did you do it that way?
Yeah. I'm with you 100% on that.
Uh-oh, what you got?
Move some stuff out of my way here. So, as you guys all know, I'm a huge Star Wars nut.
Yes,
And
we
this, you guys have probably seen this already.
Oh yeah.
X-Wing.
Yeah.
This is the one that is, from my understanding, is studio scale, which means that this was the size they used for the filming miniatures. And this thing is freaking heavy, and I didn't put a lot of infill into it, but it does come in several pieces. The cockpit is all separate. So is the canopy is separate. R2 is separate. This piece is separate. You have to build out all of this. On the this section is all in separate pieces. Yeah, it's quite a big heavy ship.
Is that from Gambody?
This is the one from Gambody, yes. I think they did a wonderful job on it. I'd like to get a big enough resin printer to see if I can get this printed in resin. I also have the Razor Crest from The Mandalorian that I'm hoping that will be something I can do in resin with a little bit bigger resin printer at some point.
I downloaded their Millennium Falcon, but I don't know if I'll live long enough to do it.
That thing's got a lot of parts to it.
Holy crap. You wouldn't believe how many parts there are.
Well, I just bought the Star Destroyer. I haven't started printing it yet. That one scares me a bit. That one, I don't even know how many pieces. I think the true scale, it's over 1.5 meters long. So
Wow.
Well, it's like that bullrog, you know, that bullrog I showed you earlier has some 60 parts to it.
yeah, it's a doozy in size. You should bring that over, Pete. Show it off to everybody there, because that's an impressive print of yours.
Now, Accord XTC is saying in the chat that Star Trek is better than Star Wars.
Oh, here it starts.
That's just a known fact.
Yeah.
Battle Beyond the Stars trumps them all.
All right, I'll bring balance, and I'll show you that.
Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Nice.
I thought you were gonna pull out something from Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, here, Pete. Let me bring you a full screen on there. That is a nice model there.
That is nice.
That is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Anyway, it's coming along slowly but surely.
Oh, Pete, how many more parts do you have to print?
Well, each wing has 9 parts on it, and as you can see, I've only got a stump of one wing. And then, of course, his platform is 4 parts, and each of those is at least 2 days.
Wow. Is he gonna have the width as well?
I'm sorry?
Will he have the width as well?
Oh, yeah. The wings will be probably, well, I would imagine the wingspan's about 2.5 feet.
Wow.
My wife says I can't keep it in my bedroom.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Now, I've met Sally. She's a wonderful woman. And if she says it can't go in the bedroom, well, who am I to argue? There's lots of things my wife says I can't bring in the bedroom. So,
Yeah, so at the moment I'm right here. I don't know, you can see I'm printing a wing piece.
Okay.
And it's got another 8 hours to go.
wow.
Anyway, keeping me out of trouble.
Yeah, that's all this hobby is good for, is keeping us out of trouble, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you get this list. I have a giant list of things I want to print. I want to take a good section of next year and just take you through prints from beginning to end. And first I have to finish painting the ones that I have. You know, this was only a paint test, so there's no other parts to this model, unfortunately. But the ones that you can see in the background there, the Leia and the Han and the Luke, they all have to be finished. And then, of course, Superman, which a lot of people have been bugging me about. Get it done, get it done. I got to get it done because I'm sure somebody wants it.
Well, there's an idea for you there, Richard. For the first layer calendar, you can take your entire year of printing and put a calendar underneath it with a picture of the print for that month.
Or because there's a lot of guys that watch our show. I mean, our audience is mostly men. from Brian's age to Peter's age. Peter, I'm not saying that you're the oldest in the room, but
Yep, all guys.
yeah. Other than that, what a Brian 3D printer. What is going on here?
Oh wow, that's a spam and a half.
Yeah, we'll have to put that user in a timeout. There we go.
I think you need to upgrade your IT people.
I think so. Well, Brian's my IT
I'm not
guy.
a very good IT guy here.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm just sitting off to the side. If you're not seeing what I'm doing here, I'm building a little something here. So if you're hearing all that jingling, that's kind of a hint of what might be coming up down the road.
So he's not going to film building the Zero. He's just going to build it.
Yeah, come on. The thing is, I'm winging it, so I want to see how much I can screw it up, and I don't have all the parts for it, so it would be a real terrible build right now. But yeah, I'm just building. Just kind of following their guide. I bought this off AliExpress with the bed for like $100 all in, so I figured it might be kind of fun to play around with a bit.
Always.
I've clearly got
Speaking
a lot
of resin printers, Richard, have you seen a review on the new one from?
The new Anycubic?
No, the one from. Oh crap! The guys over in Russia.
Frozen?
No. Sorry, brain freeze. I forgot the name of the brand. What's the other bed slinger 3D printer?
Prusa?
The Prusa. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Joseph.
TFL1.
Yeah, and it seemed intriguing because I saw a review of it, and the resin bed or that actually drops down instead of having the build plate come up.
I have seen that, and it's intriguing. I'm hoping at some point I can do a review on one of those.
Yeah, they say it's much faster.
Faster.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast they're getting now, too. I mean, UV curing, you can get infinitesimally faster. You just have to have a good light source and a good screen and all that. So, I mean, the technology's evolving there. Do I really think that resin's going to eliminate FDM? Absolutely not. But it's a neat technology to watch, especially for rapid prototyping there, because you're just getting that precision. But, I see these big ones, like Uncle Jesse and all that, and I think to myself, well, it's pretty darn expensive to operate if you think about it. And, failed prints are going to be much more costly. So we'll see. Maybe, I don't know if we're reaching that max catalyst of these things, but I think we're getting closer.
I think we are reaching that small to medium size catalyst. I mean, most printers now are coming out with a decent size build volume, which is very comparable to FDM in a lot of ways in terms of the size. However, it's the screens that dictate the size. So the bigger the screen, the bigger you can make the vat, the more you can get things done. However, the technology, because most of these screens are LCD, very few of them are monochrome. So that's where the cost of those things comes into play, because now you're using a 10-inch screen instead of a 4 or 3 or a 6-inch screen in most of these resin printers. And to fill the vat almost takes 2 liters to fill a vat on one of the bigger frozen machines.
Well,
Yeah, $45 a liter. It's expensive.
we should DIY one. I've got a couple of old 32-inch TVs we could use.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, somebody ought to be able to DIY something,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, the thing is what you're seeing right now, and this is what we saw with the advent of resin, is that a lot of them are based off existing technologies, right? All a resin printer is at the end of the day is a light source with an LCD display and a build plate, basically. It's one stepper motor. The problem inherently lies with the fact that the LCD technology was not designed for that many lumens to be passed through it continuously, and so they have a tendency to burn out. So, there's a couple of companies that started actually manufacturing monochrome LCDs, and that's why we got this sudden wave of everybody having monochrome LCDs is because someone's making them. But if you're going for bigger printers right now, unless you're willing to put the money in and buy and basically fab your own, it's going to become quite expensive. So that's kind of the catch-22 with that, right? Is that nobody's willing to put the money in to develop their own in-house one, because the moment they do, they're going to start mass purchasing. Other people are going to mass purchase these at a volume discount, and they're not going to get their R&D money back. So yeah, that's going to be the problem with these inherently bigger machines, is that I think we're still going to see them coming out with LCDs, which is a bummer because it's the one technology that you can keep going bigger as long as you got a powerful enough light source. But LCDs, if you stick with them, as I said, they're not designed for this application. They're going to burn out.
They will, and that's where I think that Formlabs really did the smart thing with going with SLA in truest sense, using a laser and refracting it off of a mirror. I think that's the best way. It was, it was the way to do it. Now, with the companies trying to get in doing things, a lot cheaper, LCDs are cheap to use. They're cheap to replace.
The funny thing is, and I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but Joseph Pruscia was by far not the first person to come out with that technology of using the laser. Funny enough, my first Kickstarter I ever backed was a printer called the Peachy printer, and if you guys have never seen this, it was one of the biggest disasters in Kickstarter history because one of the financiers took all the money and ran off and built a house in Saskatchewan. And there wasn't anything you could do about it. Like, the money was just gone. So if you look into the history of it all, at the end of the day, their idea was to take a Blu-ray laser diode with a mirror that was controlled on the X and Y axis by the left and right audio channels of your laptop computer. And so you would just plug it in, and it would play these sounds through there, and then, of course, the magnet would respond, turn the mirror, and it would draw the image over and over again. And because it was a laser, it was indefinitely scalable. So their plans were eventually to build a boat. The problem was the technology was there. They had proven functional prototypes and all that, but the guy ran off with the money, so they couldn't fulfill squat. And to this day, it's in a weird limbo after 5 years. But the concept is still there. Instead of having a continuously backlit source, just direct the light at the point. And even beyond, before that, I can't remember the name of the company. Was it Digital Expressions? Richard, maybe you'd know. The booths that used to be in the malls where you could get all the custom engravings.
I think it was Digital Expressions, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
or customs engraved or whatever. Tim might know. Anyways, this place, you could go in there and you could take an image and they would go and put it in glass. And what they do is they use two bisecting lasers to shoot, and when they hit each other in a 3D space, they would form a bubble inside the glass with the heat, and that's how they'd make that bubble artwork. So the concept, with lasers and curing and stuff, it's all the same. The resin concept with this is the same thing. You could make a vat and fire two lasers that combined are just enough to cure the resin, and make yourself an object print in 3D space. Obviously, there's different gravitational things to factor in, but the technology's been there. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So I'm glad though that he's revisiting this idea, because Joseph's the kind of guy that will put the money and the investments to make sure it actually works rather than give you a half-assed product.
And that's what I like about Joseph Pruscia, is that he does take the time to research. He takes the time to go through the R&D before he actually puts the product out on the market. Unlike a lot of companies that we all probably have printers from, where they'll just say, okay, we got a new printer coming out, here's our Kickstarter. Now tell us what's wrong with it. So at the end of the day, that's not good for the consumer. It's not good for the company, because it just drives the stock down in the company, because at that point, once you get 10 reviewers going, it's a bad printer, it's going to fail in the marketplace.
No, exactly, and that's also inherently the problem with Kickstarter, right? Kickstarter was originally meant for guys to launch their companies and to get funding, and now every major player is using Kickstarter as a pre-order platform. And the worst thing is too is they're the most reliable. You actually don't want to trust anybody unless it's an established corporation now. So it's the nature of it. I do still back certain things on Kickstarter, but not that much, especially when it comes to 3D printer technologies. I find there's just too much that can go wrong in that space, especially if it's a newcomer in there. Standard designs, right? So
Well, we've just about hit our hour.
Yeah.
Wow,
Wow.
that was a quick night.
This is what happens when you get interested in things and just start.
Start going.
As I said, I could talk for hours on end, and I've been away for a while too, so I'm a social butterfly right now.
Has anyone out there done any upgrades or been experimenting on their machines?
Oh, always. That's why mine don't work.
I have a number. I'll admit I have a number of printers down right now, and I have a couple that are lined up in my to do service on. But I just, with everything that's going on right now, it's almost impossible to get all my own machines up and running. As you guys know, I was out at the Airdrie school, C.W. Perry School, about a week ago. I did a talk with the grade 6 students out there about 3D printing, which was a lot of fun. And they had a lot of questions, very enthusiastic. I was super impressed by the amount of young women that were asking questions about 3D printing and how the technology is going to change over time. So I thought, that was a great way of introducing this to young kids. And that school, we donated a printer to them, a Creality CR10 V2, back in 2019, wasn't it, Brian?
Something like that. Yeah, it was. I think right around the time we were doing our rocket launches.
Yeah, shortly after that, we donated one to them, and then they went out and bought 5 more. So now they have their own little print lab. And
Yeah, they've got a cute little setup, and I think you shared the post on our page, did you not?
I believe I did.
Yeah, with the photo of them. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
I absolutely love what they're doing out there. They're now starting to implement these engineering ideas and these engineering philosophies to kids, that are 12, 10, 11 years old. They're going to be opening up another class here very soon for the grade 7s in that school. I guess they go off to high school now at what, grade 8 or grade 9? I don't know. I'm too old to remember.
Yeah, it's well, they keep changing what grades are these days, so.
But I'll be going back out to talk with the grade 7s at some point in time, and I will help them to refine their program for the kids. Right now they're in the design phase, so they're designing in Tinkercad, which I found quite illuminating, and how these kids are picking it up so fast. Like it's just bizarre. I don't think I ever picked up things that fast. What was that, Snapshot?
I love Tinkercad because it's built for 6th graders, which is perfect for my brain.
I've tried it, and it confuses me a bit too much, actually. I mean, some people it just makes sense to them. It's like an Apple PC sort of thing, It's like, some people get it one way, some people don't. So, but I do admit it is pretty neat. And then I don't know if any of you guys have checked out that. Is it Super Slicer that Tom went on about, where you can design and print right from it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks pretty neat.
I'm just playing with that now. Not now, but lately.
I just have to have my printer do one good print, and then I can say, all right, and then I can maybe look at it again, But, yeah, it looks intriguing, As I've said on pretty much every stream, I am all in favor of competition, because I really don't want to have one company have a stranglehold, or we almost got there with Chidu Systems with the resin printers, because they won't release the source code of any of their boards. They won't, they're trying to lock it down so you can only use Chidu box. And it's like, well, sayonara.
Well, I was looking at an upgrade kit for my LD002R to make it go from LCD or RGB LCD to a monochrome, and the kit really isn't that bad. It's just replacing the motherboard and the screen for all intent and purposes, and it's a pretty easy upgrade, but it's built around that Cheeto box technology. So I think Cheeto box is kind of leading the way in terms of slicers for resin. There's also the other resin printer one. Brian, do you know what it's called off the top of your head?
Lychee?
Lychee slicer,
Lychee,
yes.
yeah.
Lychee is, I don't even have it on my system here. It's on the upstairs system where I usually do all my slicing. But
You know what? I did like that slicer, don't get me wrong. However, the moment I found out, because the long story short is I actually did buy the mono upgrade kit for the Elegoo, and I
Right.
did the conversion, and it works awesome. The reason I haven't done the video is because I lost the footage of, well, I finally found the footage, but I shot it on my deck as the sun was going down, so it kind of ruined it there. But problem is, when you do the mono conversion, it changes the resolution. The original display actually has a higher quality, like a higher resolution display, and this one is actually slightly lower, but it's still 1080p. So I found the quality wasn't a concern, but when I fired up Lychee Slicer, and I went into the settings to go and say, all right, just take this Elegoo and change the resolution, it locked that behind the paywall, so I had to pay for the subscription to use it just to use a different resolution. I said, forget that. That's just being greedy. So
yeah,
I'm sure it's a good slicer, but locking, just like how Fusion's going, locking common sense features that don't cost you anything away behind a paywall, and putting you on a subscription model, not a buy it once for life, is going to really isolate them in the market.
well, and that's what happened with the other slicer that we all used for a long time.
Simplify.
Simplify 3D,
Yeah.
which I'll be honest with you, I haven't opened. Well, okay, no, that's not true. I did open it about a week ago, just to check a model in it as opposed to using it in Cura, and I found that Cura was way more accurate in time, and I could do more things in Cura. Although I still like the way they handle supports for removal and addition in Simplify 3D, but at the end of the day, you know,
Yeah, no slicer has it all at the end of the day. That's the biggest problem.
that's it.
We like for myself, I'm no secret here. I love Prusa Slicer, without a doubt. I love it, but I can't use it if I need tree supports.
Right.
That's the only thing that pulls me back to Cura every time, and it's a pain in the butt maintaining all these profiles. But it's such a waste of material not to use tree supports, but especially if you have the computer to calculate it, that I just wish that they would come up with something. And I think that's more going upstream to Slick 3R instead of actually going to Prusa for that one. But I don't know if any of you guys tried this new 2.4 release candidate thing they've been pushing. I hear it's got a bunch of optimizations, but I've been away for 6 weeks, so.
I haven't heard anything, but Dominic Versetto has an interesting question here. He says, which resin printers don't lock you into a specific slicer?
Okay,
Most
so-
of them on the market don't lock you into a specific slicer, but they're all built on that Cheeto box firmware.
Yeah, so again, it's something that we haven't really covered much in a video, but at least up until recently, okay, I don't want to be called out for saying, oh, it's changed now, but up until recently, every single resin printer was actually the same. Similar to you buying a car. There were some customizations on the firmware, but the board inside, your driver board that drove the LCD and drove the stepper motor and read your SD card and all that, was made by Cheeto Systems. Cheeto Systems also makes Cheeto Box, which is why everyone loves the slicer, because it was designed by the company that made the board for the Bloody Machine. So Cheeto Systems has actually been pretty good as a background player of not, being on the forefront of all these printers. You just bought the brand, and they said use Cheeto Slicer and it just worked. Well, still to this day, actually, the Elegoo Mars is a great example. It actually went through 3 motherboard revisions on the original version, and you could never tell unless you tore it down. So the LCD upgrade, the mono LCD upgrade, you have to have the version C motherboard. If you had the B or the A, you can't do the upgrade, and I still haven't got an answer to this day why that is. My understanding is just they built a firmware for version C, and that's what you're going to get. So I asked them, I said, hey, can I use a B board? And they said, oh, no, we don't support that. We won't let you do that. So no open source firmware for their boards.
Gotcha.
Then the new version, I think it was Uncle Jesse that brought this up, actually, and there was a discussion about the next version of the Chitu boards will no longer use the CLB, DLP, whatever file format. They'll use something proprietary, and they won't open source the structure of it for other vendors to make slicers for it. And there was a huge backlash, and they backed away a couple days later and said, okay, we'll make the format open source for everybody so that you can go and make files on other slices. But they want to lock down their infrastructure. So next time you're considering buying a resin printer, do a little research and see if anyone says what motherboard's in it, because you might be... I know of like the Nano DLP project and a couple different ones that I've wanted to try, but generally everything I've seen has still been the Chitu boards, and so you're at the mercy of them to update firmwares and fix things, not even your printer manufacturer like Elegoo. So just be forewarned about that, you know. Again, competition in this space, creativity in this space is great because you don't want to get stuck with one vendor and then get screwed out of your hobby at the end of the day.
Well, there you go. On that note, we're going to wrap it up.
I could ramble for hours, guys.
It has been a pleasure, gentlemen. Snapshot, Scarecrow, Tim, Peter, thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to book some more of these very soon for the month of November, so we'll have 2 more in November. And the episode that was supposed to be out last week, I think will probably come out for this week, because I'm still trying to scramble to get things done before I leave on Friday night at midnight. So until we see you guys all on the next live stream, which is Sunday, by the way, which Brian is going to be running.
Yes, I will be, and I'll actually know how to work the technology this time.
There you go.
No more spooky vision.
So Brian's going to be handling all of our stuff on Sunday. Until we see you guys then, have yourselves a great evening. And
Take care, guys.
we'll see you guys all again on Sunday. Bye for now.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye for now.